But is that all there is to the future of Community Magazine? Over the past 3 seasons, the London system has turned out some great shows. And although these were largely produced by volunteers, they took up more than a third of staff time, almost 60 hours a month. Of course, the show can continue its successful track record, but what limitations does this impose on Community 13? The monthly meeting is the only time all the program's creative forces come together. That means communication problems during production. Community Magazine will be reliant on ad hoc programming and will not have any long-range goals or direction. Inconsistent video and journalism standards as segment crews work independently of each other. Little time to launch an effective promotional campaign for the show. Because Community Magazine is produced in the field rather than in the studio, regular production hours for the London system will remain low as the show saps resources from existing staffers, limiting their participation on other ENG shoots and mobiles. But what if we decided to put some resources into Community Magazine? What if we had one person who had the exclusive responsibility of producing the program? Production would double as each month would feature 2 Community Magazine shows. This would allow a wider scope for timely stories. Programming staff would have the time to train more volunteers on the rudiments of broadcast journalism and television production. There would be a sharper focus to the program and more technical continuity from show to show. The Community Magazine producer would be trained in journalism and would give the program more bite. We could go further. By employing a full-time shooter-editor, we could enhance the look of the program. This does not negate the importance of the volunteer technician. Please consider. Community Magazine would become a weekly show, and these shows would have a uniform technical look. The full-time shooter-editor would work with new volunteers during the production of each program, making training an ongoing and constant process. By giving volunteers this training, we would benefit every aspect of programming, from mobiles to documentaries to public service announcements. And staff and volunteers would be out in the community covering more events and making a bigger impact on cable television subscribers. And then there's our fourth option, a daily program. We're talking about a revolution in London community television. And like all revolutions, this will require resources. In addition to the extra staffing requirements, a daily program would need more edit suites, porta-packs, vehicles, and studio space. It would also mean a realignment of traditional programming activities to help maximize these new resources. A daily Community Magazine program would expand local news coverage through a co-op effort with a local media outlet. Through its own facilities, Community Magazine would provide Londoners with in-depth coverage of key issues that could never receive extensive coverage by mainstream broadcasters. On a regional note, we could produce special monthly shows that highlight the very best of Rogers Community Television, pending the availability of the regional fiber network. In recent years, local and regional news suffered in Ontario, even in the media-rich area around London. Newspapers have closed their regional bureaus. Chains are selling or scaling back unprofitable community papers. Television stations and major broadcasters have reduced their news departments. Even national broadcasters like the CBC have centralized operations in Toronto. Everywhere the resources for local news are disappearing. If Rogers doesn't move in to fill this need, who will? The expansion of Community Magazine will help forge closer links between the cable channel and the customers it serves. Today, video equipment is high quality, portable, and more available than ever before. There's also a better quality of volunteer out there, and there's a community who wants and needs this type of programming. These are long-term plans, and they require a long-term commitment. There's no doubt that an army of ambitious and talented volunteers are ready to face the challenge. The question is, when do we give it to them?